On this episode of Doing the Most, we're here in the floor of the Doing the Most studio to talk about the NewAir FlipShelf wine and beverage fridge and how you can use it in your brew space.
Homemade brews and various how-tos, everything from mead to roast, bake creation, fermentation, inebriation, doing the most.
If you followed the channel for a while, you probably know we like to do gear reviews from time to time, and this was an opportunity it was difficult to say no to. So what I'm sitting next to here is NewAir's FlipShelf wine and beverage fridge. They call it FlipShelf because these shelves inside can be flipped. So the flat side can be used to store bottles or cans of beer or mead. The other side is shaped for wine and champagne bottles so that they can rest on their side. So it's a flexible option for a wine and beverage fridge. The manufacturer specs say that it can store 162 cans or 54 wine bottles. I chose to do this gear review in the floor right next to it because it's currently running. The compressor in there is running, and I wanted you to understand just how quiet this thing is, which I think is a huge benefit. Especially given that I'm planning on keeping it here in the studio so I can chill wines and beers and meads in here for easy access for reviews and tasting. Having a quiet refrigerator in here that doesn't interrupt the audio system when I'm recording voiceover or straight to camera stuff is pretty cool. I've had it running when I've been doing live streams and we've asked the live audience and they haven't been able to hear it even last week when Anna was sitting right next to it, just like I am, during the live stream. When I got the notification on my phone that it had been delivered, I went home to check and it was clear that FedEx treated it with only the gentlest care available, but overall the thing was fine, other than this panel here was dangling, I think, from the rough treatment that it got during transport. However, it just slides onto a couple of brackets in there, so putting it back together was just fine, and it obviously works just fine. It was really well packaged. So you have to let it sit for a couple of hours to let the coolant settle and then plug it in. Once I did that, it was down to 37 degrees Fahrenheit in just 2 hours, which is honestly pretty quick. The only assembly required was putting this handle on, and you basically just snug it up on the front, and then there's 2 screws behind the seal here that you just screw in. Easy peasy. It also includes this extra hinge assembly to make it easy to switch the door if you want it to hinge on the right side instead of the left side, vice versa. So I'm thankful that they included that. It also has adjustable feet on the bottom, which is nice because I live in a house built in 1935 and the floors are not always super level, so it was nice to be able to balance it out in this room. This fridge has some cool LED lights, like a light strip in the top of it, which provides a pretty cool aesthetic. Because I can't leave well enough alone, I modified mine by taping a strip of red filter paper over the lights to give it a nice pink glow. Also, the display that shows you the temperature is very bright, which is nice, but Anna and I like to kind of keep the artificial light level down in our house, so I put a strip of light filter over that as well. I'm a big fan of the double pane glass on the front that allows you to see everything inside, and I also like this stainless steel finish. It's classy, and I think it would look nice if you built it into a cabinet. That is the one thing I will say gives me a little bit of concern about this. It is huge, so you want to make sure that if you're going to install something like this underneath your cabinetry, that you have the clearance, height, width, and depth-wise to accommodate that. Now, I like that it's huge because it can store a ton of bottles, but again, if you're building it in, you want to really make sure that your dimensions accommodate this thing. Another thing that I like about this is, at least when it's empty, it's super lightweight. I was able to just basically scoot it around on its plastic feet to get it where I wanted in the space. Initially, I'd put it over in the corner, but then I put some racks in here to get some of my stuff off the floor, so now it's sitting underneath my television in here. Maybe it'll make a good stand for my Nintendo 64 when I bring it downstairs. So the shelving is pretty easy to remove. The wide end goes at the back and the narrow end goes at the front. You can slide them in, position them how you want, fit your bottles and cans in there, or if you want bottles to lay on the side, you just slide everything back out, flip the shelves over, slide them back in, and your bottles fit just fine. Additionally, an added benefit for homebrewers like us, if you take all the shelves out of here, this thing actually fits a 5-gallon carboy, so realistically, you could cold crash in it. But unfortunately, it doesn't fit ball lock kegs, so those of us who use ball locks wouldn't be able to use this for a kegerator. But a pin lock keg does fit inside of it, and I think there's probably plenty enough clearance for the disconnects, so it's possible it could be an option for that. Overall, I'm fairly pleased with the NewAir FlipShelf. It looks pretty cool in my space. It kind of matches the aesthetic of the room, and of course, it fits a ton of bottles and gets cold super fast. But y'all know this review wouldn't be complete with just, double checking to make sure the temperature setting is right on there. These bottles have been in there since last night. It is set for 37 degrees. So it's just, important that we make sure our beverage is actually 37 degrees. Yeah, looks good to me. If you'd like to add one of these to your homebrewing arsenal, we've got a link and a code in the description. And if you have specific questions about it, drop them in the comments and I'll answer everything that I see. We'd appreciate it if you hit thumbs up on this video, and there are links to our Discord, Instagram, how to support the channel, all of that in the description as well. Thank you for watching, happy homebrewing, and cheers.